working.
The only one that's working because Doug broke the other one.
Fine then. Sound of music.
I like that.
We have no idea what the hell these are for. They were just sitting here when we came in.
Lindsay just battles with these.
The sun will come out tomorrow. I have the microphone, I have the power. So deal with it, Doug.
Probably just walking by, so I was like, you know what I really want to sing along to? Annie. But damn! Whoa! You just made that happen!
Your microphone tomorrow.
Okay, so do we have, where's Steph people? Okay, is this, we got everybody then? We good? Yeah. Good? Okay, cool. This is the Channel Awesome Q&A. We're just going to go down. We're just going to answer questions that you guys have. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to walk down and introduce ourselves.
I am Lynn Carr from atop the fourth wall, and sometimes I do history Power Rangers. Go!
I'm Doug Walker. I'm the site TechOutForGlasses.com. I also do Ask Tech Out for Glasses, video game confessions, and also film reviews as well as Nostalgia Critic. Go!
Julio Thompson. I'm That SciFi Guy. I host That SciFi Guy.
Go, 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 go!
And you bring a gentleman. Go.
Joey DeSena, Roo. I also do shows 16-Bit Gems, The Way Games Work. Some other stuff I can't really remember right now. Go!
I do What the Fuck Is Wrong With You? I do Rhythm Dragons, I do stuff on the site, and Radio Dead Air. Yes, so hello. Thank you. I'm Tom White. I go by He Is an Evil Genius, and I have a show called Weird Video Games.
I love your name 4 times 8 video.
Thank you for being specific.
And tonight I'm doing audition for the worst movie ever, and it's 11 o'clock p.m. It's gonna be really fun.
Cool, and we're just going to go down the line. We're just going to, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll answer to the best of our abilities. Let's see, who has a question? Yes, you.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can find the right words to sell, please.
Well, try it.
Okay, at the end of Lindsay's Freddy Got Finger review, she revealed that although she doesn't like the movie, she can't really hate it. Is there a movie that made you be like, this movie sucks, but I can't really hate it? For me, that was House of the Dead, because even before the whole picture, it wasn't going to be a good movie in the first place.
It's sort of like a guilty pleasure is what you're talking about, right? For me, I'd have to say, it's always the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings for me. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of things that don't make sense and it's really stupid, but there's also some really subtle, quiet moments I like. Shut up!
I think we have functional mics now. Cool. This one's functional mic as well.
Don't drop it, Doug! So yeah, that might be the one for me. How about you, Lewis? Any one that's like a guilty pleasure for you?
None of off the top of my head, anyway.
To be frankly honest, I love bad movies, and a lot of the movies that I reviewed, I have soft spots for. Some of them I actually hate, but honestly, I like Battleship. That movie's bad. That's bad. Don't take it, but it's just so fun.
First of all, you can hate Freddy Got Fingered. That's okay.
Thank you.
To add, not so much guilty pleasure, but you were saying, I think, a movie that you don't like but can't hate, I suppose would be Usual Suspects, because I just don't like that movie, because it's just lying to you. No spoilers, but I can understand what it's trying to do, and everyone else loves it, and I just have to make that good time.
Batteries not included. It's not, the plot is awful. It's so formulaic and cliche, but you can't hate it. It's like hating a puppy, with Down syndrome or something. Yeah. I hit a demographic there, but you can't hate it because it's not very bright movie, but it's just adorable. And
I think that describes every movie that I think sucks. Very, very few movies I actually hate. I just don't. I can't think of anything specific. It's easier for me to name the very few that I actually really hate.
Cool. Louis, why don't you pick some?
Why don't we go over this side, actually? You, sir. Yep.
Do you guys like to review like kids movies? Like, what's like the best, worst kids movie you have ever had to watch?
God, that's really tough.
Care Bears. Yeah, I'm trying to think of one that's like just always laughing the whole way through because it was like so bizarre. Yeah, the Doug. Maybe maybe not a movie, but actually just watching the Sonic the Bad cartoon show. It was so bizarre and so strange that we just kept shaking our head like, what the hell are we watching?
So good.
That was kind of fun just for how bad shit insane it was.
I haven't really done any kids movies. Star Wars Holiday Special? Kids, right?
I don't know if that's And anyone else got one on there?
Not a movie, but a video game. It's a kid's game, but it's actually kind of good. It's Little Mermaid for the NES. I actually just played this for the first time about a week ago, and I was shocked at how deep it was. But it is still a kid's game. It's not the Citizen Kane video game.
Actually, before Nash, Digimon movie.
I love that movie.
I can't think of a movie, but I can. Wow, this guy's wearing the same shirt as me. Not so much a movie, but a TV show, Super Friends. I love Super Friends. It's awful, but you can't stop watching. Everything is so amazingly stupid. I have to stop and pause and stuff and just make sense of everything that's happened. Every single episode surprises me at how stupid it is. It is amazing.
Batman can fly sometimes.
Yes, yeah.
He's a bat.
Have any of you ever lied about your opinion of something because it was funnier?
I think early on with the Nostalgia Critic, I definitely did. Just for that very reason, to make it funnier, to sort of, because I think the character was even more close-minded and jerky to start off. He sort of opened up a bit. I think it opens up the humor as well, and the review. So, yeah, but in terms of like specifics, oh god, at the top of my head, I can't really think of which ones are like, no, that was good, and I was just mean for the sake of being mean. But I can't think top of my head, but I know there's been a couple.
Not for me, anyway. My opinion might change over time, but no, if you see me pissed off at something, I'm pissed off at it.
I don't think I've ever directly lied about it, but I've definitely, poked fun at things for the sake of a joke. But I usually try to close an episode with what my genuine thoughts are. Because, I can go through and I can pick apart movies that I love. But, I kind of, like I said, I always try to close it with, this is, as much fun as this was, ripping this movie apart, I kind of like it.
Yeah, same thing. I try to be honest with my opinions if I can, because I'm not so much a character as I just review things and talk about them. But sometimes I can exaggerate things for comedic effect. Like, I'm not good at pronouncing Japanese words, but I play that up because, hey, at least I think it's amusing.
Yeah, I've exaggerated, especially with the Peter Cushing, Doctor Who movies. I played that up a bit because he's named. I played up the whole he's named Doctor Who and things like that because it is funny, but I did lie about my opinion of it. It was incredibly funny, the best unintentional comedy I've ever seen.
I usually really avoid hyperbole at any time. I never exaggerate my words. I do exaggerate my emotional response because that just makes it more entertaining. But I really go far out of my way to avoid saying things like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen, unless it actually is the worst movie I've ever seen. But when I actually do review the worst movie I've ever seen, for instance, I'm gonna have to very carefully explain that I'm not just saying that. That's kind of the way that things have gone with hyperbole. But no, I never lie about my opinion. Most of the stuff I review is weird games, so I don't really have to. It's It's just, this is weird. That's my opinion.
Before we go to the next question, just out of because I don't want to forget, at 2:30, I actually now have an autograph signing, 2:30, second floor, next to the elevator. So if you want me to sign things or buy DVDs or anything like that, here we go. There, done, go.
Let's go with Pinkie Pie, just because I want to say Pinkie Pie.
All right, for all of you, if you could be Sailor Scout, which one would you be?
Sailor Alpha Centauri, of course. Or do you mean one that actually was shown on the show?
Whatever, yours is creative.
I beat the cat that's gonna shut the hell up.
I was a fan of Sailor Bacon.
Donatello.
That's a Sailor Scout.
You don't want to know.
I don't know, Sailor Mercury.
And Nash, why don't you do the next one?
Okay, let's see. You there in the glasses? Yes, you.
This question for all of you. Are there any reviewers on the site you haven't crossed over with yet but would really, really like to? Do you have like a wish list for crossovers?
I still want to do a crossover with Owen Citizen. We were thinking we might do the 2001: A Space Odyssey comics done by Jack Kirby, and I brought them with me too when we were filming To Boldly Flee. But looking at them, and we were just so exhausted from To Boldly Flee itself, we decided there was no way in hell we could just do an improv review because we had a lot of work on our plate. We didn't have a lot of crossovers for To Boldly Flee. We didn't have scripted out because we're busy people.
Nobody I can think of necessarily on the site in terms of anything that's come to mind. Anything that we comes up hey, we should do a crossover. We just sort of do it. I mean, nothing's springing to mind, but if an idea comes up that's oh hey, this might be good for Blockbuster Buster or something like that, or something I haven't known, it's yeah, or something like that.
I have a few that are kind of not necessarily planned, but sort of in the works. Sort of in pre-production, I'm talking about maybe doing one with Blockbuster Buster, possibly lined up with Diamanda, possibly with Linkara. It sort of depends on the movie, but yeah, I've got a few.
I worked with Owen Citizen before, they're both really good to work with. Not so much with video games, but something I don't get to talk about very often is sci-fi. I'm a big fan of Star Trek and Doctor Who, so just off the panel Lewis, Leo, or Nash. They're good guys.
For me, it's a matter of context because I've got either I had a very narrow focus with the Doctor Who stuff, or I had a very weird focus with the what the fuck stuff. But I think I might start seeing what I can do now that I'm working on fantasy films because there's a bit of a broader base. I'll see what comes up.
My answer is similar to Doug's. It's just if an opportunity presents itself, I'll go for it. But I already have I have way more ideas than I have time to work on anything as it is. So it just kind of depends on what comes up.
Why don't you pick the next one?
Choose
wisely. On what?
Sorry, one of my favorite shows.
Oh, yeah, what?
Doctor Who and Smallville.
Doctor Who and what? It's Doctor Who and Smallville. I haven't seen either, so I have no opinions.
I have an opinion on Smallville.
Doctor Who is awesome.
Now this is a little bit embarrassing, but there was a time when Smallville was my favorite show. Yeah.
Why?
Oh man, did it get bad. I have so many thoughts I can't condense them into a minute. But, I can easily see now how it was bad right from the beginning. I guess I was kind of blinded by some things, but there are just some things in its inherent nature that it's going to make less sense as it goes on. The longer all these people know Clark, the more likely someone's going to recognize him years later as Superman, because he's not wearing the glasses, but he's always near danger all the time.
And every single.
You got so angry, you cut your mic.
Left the building.
I actually really like Smallville, but I will admit that like it has this amazing ability to go from some of the best writing to some of the worst writing, sometimes in the same episode. Like, you know, you'll get an episode like, you know, the one that Jeff Johns wrote about the
JC.
Justice Society. And then the very next episode is something about like him getting hypnotized by kryptonite dust and like hypnotizing himself into wanting to kill Lex Luthor. It's like, what? It's inconsistent, but I like it.
I think the part where it really got stupid was that episode where Green Arrow shot a bullet with his arrow.
Inconsistent.
It got beyond stupid. There's a moment near the end where, I forget what the context of the episode was, but the bad guys are holed up in these two very tall towers in the middle of Smallville, or middle of Metropolis. They're very identical, twin towers almost, right next to one another. And Clark Kent, who is not Superman, is the Blur, proceeds to knock down twin towers.
It's maybe an allegory.
And this is well after September 11th. And you don't see him take the time to make sure everybody gets out of the building either. He just knocks them down. He doesn't really care. He's just like, you're on your own, I'm not Superman yet, so I'm not contractually obliged to save your butt. So it's Man of Steel.
Everything I hear about everything that happened after I stopped watching it is just terrible. I am so glad I stopped watching that show.
Honestly, the first 3 seasons were very formulaic. Season 4 was really bad with a couple of gems, and then I kind of thought that season 5 on kind of got better as it went. Personally, like I said, with gems and turds sprinkled along the way.
Wait. With that said, we do. Long time on that one. Let's go ahead and Louis, you take the next one.
Smallville freaking sucks. Let's go over to this side of it. I don't have my glass on. That's her. Okay, here's her. One more time. I can't do a history of Doctor Who. Look how it takes so pretty long for history of Power Rangers. And looking at Doctor Who is not really the same thing as looking at Power Rangers. Because in the early days, character development worked differently back then. It's not the same kind of thing. It's not the same kind of thing that I kind of noticed through a one season of Power Rangers. Besides, just watch SF Dupree's Doctor Who reviews or Nash's Doctor Who reviews.
Okay, let's do Yellow Shirt there.
Okay, first of all, is there a movie that you had to read and you're like, oh God, I need a drink to get through this one? Because my little sister's favorite movies are Quest for Camelot and A Troll in Central Park.
Oh no.
I'm 8 years older than one of them, and 2 years old. I had to babysit them and sit through it. At 7 years old, I knew something was wrong with them. And now I'm like, no.
Kids like a kid's film. I mean,
you see them like 15 times in a row, and you're like, oh my God, no. I wrote the DVD. I wrote the DVD. I got that desperate.
But in terms of movie, that's like, dude, I need a drink to get through this. Like, the two popping to mind, one because it was so boring and I was Junior, and simply because it's like, what the hell are we gonna do? This is giving us nothing. This should be like, all this material should be flowing, and it's like boring. So, and then the second one, honestly, Master of Disguise. You were gonna say that. That was really, really tough. That was a tough one to get. Well, yeah, and garbage.
Well, if I actually did drink alcohol, the Marvel reviews would be the thing that actually did drive me to drink.
Star Wars Holiday Special.
No, don't spoil it for the people!
Well, this is why I review big games. I don't have to drink to get But no, I saw Master of Disguise in the theater. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I was about halfway through in the theater, but I fell asleep halfway through, so it's 2 stars.
It's not so much they're frustrating to get through, or they're bad. Because I can deal with bad. I can deal with sitting through awful stuff. It's like Doug said, it's boring. K9 and Company gave me nothing to work with. It was just this long slog. I'm like, is it over yet? Is it over? Oh my God, is it over? It's bad, but I think bad, over the top, and crazy and goofy is so much more interesting. If not, it's not good, but it's more interesting than just mediocre and dull and just sort of plodding, and you're just like, is it over yet? Yeah. So.
K9 and Company, the most interesting thing about it was the theme song.
Yeah.
K9.
First, I don't drink, but yeah, I'm going with Nash here. I can tolerate all kinds of things in a bad movie. It is the boring ones that get you. I remember my brother and I once went to a library and we signed out Supergirl, and that is the most. It just drags and drags, and it's pretty offensively stupid too. And now, see, we got it from the library, like I said, and there were like scratches on it. And somewhere about halfway through the movie, it skipped and went straight to the final scene. We were so relieved.
You weren't missing anything.
I think it was. Yeah, it's Supergirl versus Batman. Let's have Leo.
You. Me? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. You might have already answered this with Smallville, but is there any franchise, movie, comics, cartoon, anything, where you're just like, how the fuck did that get off the ground?
If you recall the NBC comics, Pro Stars. Have you never heard of this? Michael Jordan, what's his name? Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky as an A-team style superhero group going around helping kids with like laser bats and spear throwing hockey sticks.
What?
It was a cartoon. I don't know who said this. It said, yes! This is a profitable franchise right here.
Probably that Geico caveman show. And I still have to like pinch myself and be like, did that really happen?
Probably the Toxic Crusaders, the Toxic Avengers kid show cartoon. Like, you just gotta, how? Who thought that? Like, let's take the Toxic Avenger and make a kid show out of it. Like,
Let's pass the drugs.
Almost any video game movie, honestly.
I love the Super Mario Bros. movie.
What's weird about that is that I went through so many rewrites, and that if you actually, I think it just leaked like the original script not too long ago. It actually could have been good. It just got completely mangled and
I've got two.
Nice.
The first one, none of you will remember because you're too young. Rubik the Amazing Cube.
I know.
It's a cartoon about a Rubik's Cube. This happened. Someone was sitting around somewhere looking at this and going, you know what? Animation. And the other one is, since I'm in Canada, I can blame y'all for this. It's still going on right now. Lost Girl. This is it's one of the most ridiculously stupid television shows I have ever seen. And you can't look away. It's just so, it's like, what are they going to do next? That's ridiculous. I can't stop watching this crap.
And that's why it's popular.
I'm a PA on the show, sorry.
How many examples there are of this? They made a battleship movie. They made a cartoon series out of Qbert.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, Pac-Man.
And Pac-Man.
Pac-Man's traveling through time.
There was a Rambo cartoon at one point.
Yeah. Karate Kid.
Chuck Norris, Karate Commandos.
I kind of missed all those.
What is something, again, video game, movie, anything, that you have constantly had to defend your opinion on that everybody else thinks is shit, but you're like, no, this is amazing?
Like legitimately good, like hey, I stand by this is good, and it's not like
It may be,
like,
yeah,
this
you find the
is
merit in it.
false, and I see why you don't like it. I mean, I think I don't know. Come back to me.
Come back to me, still thinking.
Leo.
I don't know, maybe Battleship?
The movie of the night is.
The Wizard. The Wizard's good, shut up. I actually enjoy, for a weird reason, Back to the Future on the NES. And I can still beat it within 20 minutes to this day.
You know, actually, I do have one. I actually will, even though, again, I don't acknowledge it like fully as a good movie, but I will defend the good parts in it, which I think are very good parts, and that's in Spider-Man 3. I think there are really good parts in it.
Yeah!
You know, I can't defend it everything, but I think any of those movies have good films. You know, but I don't know, there are really good, strong scenes in here that I think are still worth taking a look at.
It's just Tobey Maguire's crotch, isn't it?
Wait, does this face?
Yeah, I've got nothing, so I'm just going to say to boldly flee. I'm kidding.
Daredevil. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but there is a lot of good stuff in that. Like, I love the conflicted nature of the character. Like, he goes to see a priest, and you know, he's confessing, you know, how he's going out and
dressed as a devil.
like he's going out and beating on criminals and whatnot. And I mean, he tells himself he's doing it for justice, but he's doing it for himself. And when he goes to confession, the priest tells him, "You're not asking me for forgiveness. You're asking me for permission." And it's pretty deep for that kind of movie. I mean, there's all kinds of ridiculous stuff that happens in the movie, but there is a lot of good stuff. Like, I kind of get chills at the end, you know, when he doesn't kill the Kingpin and just kind of.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
It's like 13.
I actually really like the way they portrayed the sonic vision in that movie. Or the way that, I thought that was really well done.
Kind of an interesting attention to details. Like, you know, most blind people, they move around with their cane, they go like this.
And have fights on seesaws.
Yeah, no, like he hears things, or he senses things for echolocation. He wasn't doing that. He was just tapping the ground as he's walking. That was just, you know, very subtle detail that I picked up on that. I thought that's really cool.
And Ash, did you do one?
I'm getting crap for this. I don't know. American Pop.
Oh, I love American Pop.
Yeah.
The Ralph Bakshi, right?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, but people are like, it's awful. I'm like, but it's the whole thing from beginning to end. Guys! You can't explain to people.
You know, I got a comic one, a legitimate one, Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it's one of the worst Spider-Man storylines ever. I think it's fantastic. Maybe a little long, but it doesn't feel that way.
My friend's wearing the music for the video game.
Redo it.
It's Carnage.
You there with love.
Each of you have reviewed, of course, and part of your job is to review stuff that is really, really awful, and Ash, in case is what the fuck is wrong with you, which honestly is between the Nostalgia Critic, Comic Book One, those are the 3 shows I watch on Channel Awesome. All you guys are amazing. You guys basically make my week each and every week. But the worst possible situation when you're going through your work, you go, wow, I cannot believe I have to review this, or look at this, etc., etc. Like, this is for all of you. You see it so bad you're in shock. Like, you just can't get back.
Something that we have already reviewed, or is just
past,
something?
present, or like past that you're going to review, or from the past.
Marvel, the Warrior Comics, Bimbos in Time. That Pro Stars bit in the NBC Comics.
California Raisins.
California Raisins? Why that? What? Why 3D?
Yeah, I honestly probably just, not like I can't believe I have to review this, but again, just one of those where it's like, really, they made these choices and this is what they get. This was given to me as a child, and it's garbage pail kids, probably.
Yeah.
Zombie Apocalypse. The SciFi Asylum movie, like that's one of the movies I can think of recently that actually made me yell at the screen.
People money.
We do.
I mean, this is self-inflicted. We decide what to review. But that said, I told myself that I would review anything that's really weird, like any game that's really weird. And so eventually I had to come to the adult games for Atari 2600. And yeah, the whole time, like, what am I doing? Like pantsless men bouncing off the walls like a pong ball, hitting women, and does like the charge music when they disappear. And why? What is wrong with me?
I don't normally do bad games, but I do remember one I did for Tom's show, Weird Video Games. And I thought it would be fun. I hadn't played it, but it was this game called Captain Novolin for the Super Nintendo. It was put out to basically teach kids with diabetes how to live. For a superhero who has to avoid sweet snacks bouncing around on these stages. It was boring as crap.
He got through the entire game before he realized he could actually kill the enemy.
Yes!
He just avoided this
So
entire time.
talk about self-inflicted, because you got like bouncing donut. I'm like, okay, wait for the donut. Jump over the donut. Okay, up there's a milkshake. What? Run under the milkshake. More like saunter under the milkshake. That is not good. It's about what you expect from a video game about insulin.
Oh, children. I have seen stories about people putting anything imaginable in any opening they have. I've seen people do things with objects that I didn't know was possible. I've seen people with substances put in themselves and the results are just astounding. And not in a fun way. I have seen attack ships on fire off the shoulders of Orion. Yeah, that's what I call that Monday.
I hear Tom Munchkin.
That's the show.
Okay. You. Yes.
I've asked a question before, but I'm asking again because I just thought of one. You guys are probably aware that you have what's called a fandom. And you've got people who make fan art of you and who write fan fictions.
A lot of it's very steamy.
But not as steamy as the real thing.
My point is, have you ever seen any of this, perhaps PG-13 fan art or fan fiction?
I love all the fan art we get and all the fan stuff that people make for us. It's just incredible. I mean, this is really the thing that makes me just so happy that you guys take time out of your lives to do something creative but focused around us. It's very
Around you and
heartwarming.
the nostalgia critic having some sort of intercourse.
I don't read any fan fiction though. Either erotic or not. I just don't have the time of the day to read that kind of stuff.
Go ahead.
But I just got to say, we have 5 minutes before we have to start clearing off the next thing, apparently.
Okay, here, I'll say my real bit. Just, I did read one, I don't usually read them, but I did read one that was the nerd critic fan fiction, and they do that pretty hard. That's the truth, and it's really funny. Yeah, no, it's really, really funny. Let's go ahead and we'll take at least 2 more questions here. Let's do Back to the Future. I think it's Back to the Future.
Back to the Future plus Lost.
Even better.
What, it's kind of for everybody, what, based on what you reviewed, game, whatever, had probably, might not be the worst thing, but had the most wasted potential?
That we reviewed or just in general?
In general, whatever.
As a follow-up to 52, Countdown.
I haven't reviewed it yet, but I'm going to. Man of Steel.
Green Lantern.
Star Trek Next Generation for Super Nintendo and Genesis. They kind of good, but
That freaking mind level can go to hell.
The Eighth Doctor TV movie. That could have been so much better.
There's a Sega Genesis game called Chuck and the Forever Man. Awesome concept that fits into a video game so well, and they just wrecked it. It's really, it pains me.
Awesome. All right, let's do one more. I think long blue sleeve there. I think. Yeah.
So if you had to take anybody else's place on Channel Awesome,
If we had what?
Anybody else's place, let's say Linkara turns into Phaelus.
Well, aside from Phaelus, I would actually love to do Brows Held High, even though I could never do Brows Held High, because honestly, the man is so damn smart and is actually doing really innovative things with the reviewing concept. He did the first musical review. He did the first silent review, on the site anyway. Just has done so much weird things with the format that is just so creative and wonderful that I am jealous and in awe of him sometimes. And he's smarter than me.
I think maybe like, honestly, sort of like what the French guys do, sort of like what Benza and Seth Hammond do sometimes, because there is something about that very strange, surreal humor, just diving into that silliness and that odd, deadpan, weird place. And it just makes me laugh, and I love trying to understand it and grasp it.
I don't know. I guess in addition to sci-fi, I really like comics. So I don't know. I could do it at top of the fourth wall, maybe.
Ciara does some really good videos, and he has cheap damage sometimes on these tabletop games, which I am a big fan of. And I don't think anyone else on the site really does that. And he keeps teasing he's going to do Star Trek Next Generation CCG from the 90s. I would love to have a crack at that too.
I think I'd like to take over from Kara, and once the rice and salad kicks in, I probably will.
All right, guys, we have to wrap this up here. We do have other Q&A. We have a Q&A panel tomorrow as well. In here, we have an improv panel that I'm going to be a part of, as well as Brent. We also have Lewis. He's going to be doing signings when and where?
2:30, level 2, right next to the escalators. You can't miss it.
And I also have the signing tomorrow at 10. Anyone else have anything they want to whore up?
What's the guitar?
This is going to be in the charity auction Sunday. All the guests are going to be signing it, so...
I don't play Fender, sorry.
Well, then you go outside.
I don't play guitar, but I'm not that guy.
D20 Live tonight with me, Lewis, Mike Dodd, and Mark Meir.
Where?
So, I believe here.
Okay.
Thank you all so much.